Another thing that sort of tickles me no end is the use of the term pedagogy, even at a university level. Now, if you look at the root or the etymology of the word pedagogy, it is about pedagogy literally means the art and science of educating children. All right, and it's synonymous with teaching. More accurately, pedagogy embodies teacher-focused education. The entire focus is on the teacher, what the teacher does, how good he or she is. In the pedagogic model, teachers assume responsibility for making decisions about what will be learned, how it will be learned, and when it will be learned. Teachers direct learning. I think this is one of the reasons why many adults are put off by learning. And in the workplace, there's almost a contempt for anything academic. I mean, it's almost as though it's not relevant. I think part of that is the way we engage with learners. I think that's part of the problem. If you looked at the great teachers of ancient times, from Confucius to Plato, none of them pursued such authoritarian techniques. Major differences exist between what we know of great teacher styles, yet they all saw learning as a process of active inquiry, not passive reception. In fact, the Socratic method is all about asking relevant questions to elicit from your student or participant the knowledge that's already sort of with them. Now, considering this, it is surprising that teacher-focused learning later came to dominate formal education. Teacher-focused learning is very convenient. You can process large numbers of students, take up their time, but it doesn't really facilitate learning as such. Whether or not this is the best model for child education, it is clearly inadequate for adult learning. I don't know if you agree with that. I mean, particularly when it comes to work or career-related learning within the process of human resource development. HRD requires a more active approach from the learner, which takes into account individual experiences. In an attempt to formulate a comprehensive adult learning theory, Malcolm Knowles in 1973 published the book, The Adult Learner, A Neglected Species. Building on the early work of Lindemann, Knowles asserted that adults require certain conditions to learn. He borrowed the term andragogy to define and explain the conditions. Now, andragogy is not a term that you hear very often, even in the context of university education. In the andragogic model asserts that 5 issues need to be considered and addressed in formal learning. And I think this will apply for any learning and development professional here, if you're in this function. They include letting learners know why something is important to learn. I remember as a child sitting in a mathematics class asking my teacher how is this relevant to the real world, and almost being slapped down with. So the natural curiosity to explore and to find meaning is often missing in this process. The second is showing learners how to direct themselves through information. Building elementary, the basic research skills in students themselves. Relating the topic to the learner's experiences. In addition, people will not learn until they are ready and motivated to learn. How many professionals do we have from the learning and development function here? Can I see it? Now, please tell me if this isn't true. In your workshops, how many engaged participants do you have? Or would they rather be somewhere else? Often unless they can find meaning in what they're doing, the whole experience becomes sort of, we experience this in corporate training all the time. You need to make it, we need to consider learner motivation. Often this requires helping our participants overcome inhibitions, behaviors, and beliefs about learning, which have been ingrained by our education system.